I trade spot and futures on BYDFi, and if you want to set up an account now, send me a message once you've created your account with your username and UID on Telegram, and I'll put you into a randomly selected prize draw. I've got 10, 20 and $50 gift cards to give out, which basically go against your trading fees, giving you free trading fees basically until the gift cards run out. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back to Pump City. You know, it's one of those days where you just wake up and you feel so happy that you just got to go off and spend some money, to be fair. I'm going to go buy a car today, believe it or not. Not because I'm loaded or anything like that, but it's just coincidental that the market's pumping at the same time that I'm going to buy a car. So let's have a look at, I suppose just starting with Bitcoin very briefly. This is great. This is a good look for us right now. Okay, so Bitcoin not at its potential top, which is around 48,000, where I'm seeing the potential top. I have to say, though, lots of people are seeing a potential top around there. You know what happens when everybody sees the same thing and expects the same thing? Something else will happen. But either way, it's not at a massive peak, let's face it, as far as expectations are concerned. And now I've woken up to not just a sea of green, but a tsunami of green. This is just, you know, and I'm looking at the ones that have really been moving, you know, from my portfolio today. We've got Atom and Algorand up 20%. We were looking at this on the live stream last night. I said, well, look, stumbling block around 18, but it looks like 20 cent is definitely going to happen, and maybe 24. Wake up, 20 cents happened straight away. We'll call this the SEC's greatest hits because, you know, it was also one of my theories that, you know, that these are the coins that have been kept down on purpose for some strange and nefarious reason. Yeah, Matic, you're getting quite close to getting back up to that dollar again. I love it when Matic's at $1. Well, I say $1. I like it when it gets to $1.20 because it means I'm back at the 100x mark again. Anyway, enough of that. What's the deal? So let's take it to the dominance chart. So we looked at this a couple of days ago and I was saying, look, if you look at this on the monthly, I changed the moving average setting from a 50 to a 60 just to see if I can move the goalpost a little bit, because we did get a rejection on it over here, which caused that big alt season in 2021, and we were approaching something similar, which is why I moved it from a 50 to a 60, and yeah, maybe we're getting that rejection on a monthly. So if we got the rejection on the monthly over here, we came smashing down below all major moving averages, and again, it was a different chart back then. You know, this is effectively a bearish chart, generally speaking. I know that it goes against what a lot of people think, you know, that Bitcoin is the king of kings, but when you're looking at this, is it fair to call it a down-only chart? I mean, I don't know if it is. I think it might be fair to say that, which is difficult to say, but we do basically have a series of highs, lows, lower highs, not quite lower lows yet, but maybe we do get lower lows. Anyway, that's enough of that. The main thing to think about is that where we're going to sink from here. 7 Simple seem to have caught the bounce on the monthly here before, which brings us to 51.5. Sorry, 51.5%. Yeah. So that'll be the first area. What else have we got here on the daily for that? 55. Nothing really on the daily. 50 exponential down here seems to want to catch a break. Did it over here before. Bollinger Band's catching a bit of a breather now. And what's down here? Nothing really. So look, I mean, we are melting down at the moment. It's not broken down. It's still technically okay as far as trend on the shorter term time frame is concerned. But we could be looking at a meltdown here. We were also talking about the Total 2 last night. Again, you guys need to join the Patreon live stream. It's definitely better than just watching these videos in the morning, because you can ask me questions, can't you, about whatever chart that you want to trade. And after 2 hours of looking at charts, I can tell you now that you walk away from that with a much deeper overview of what's going on in the overall market, because the market is usually a trending market rather than individual altcoins or whatever. The market is more important than the individual, I would say. So I was saying, look, it's pretty clear that the alt season 2.0 is underway. We're currently up 12%. We were up 10% last night with a view of 36% overall. So we're over 30% of the way through this now. And if we move up to the top target, that's another 60% of the way to go. So we've still got plenty of room to run on this one, and with the dominance chart melting down as it is, That's great. So let's have a look at the main driver then, which is going to be Ethereum. So obviously Ethereum is the total 2 chart for the for the most part. It's basically what it is. We broke out of this high from back over in April, and obviously the breakdown zone from back in the olden days. Feels like a million years ago, but it was also a major support when we came down in January 2022. So yeah, we broke out from there, and we did retest it the following day, and then we've just shot up since. So looking at this, we've got one driver bearish divergence so far on this daily, which will offer a pullback, I would say at some point soon. But the next major level on this one for take profit areas is around quite close to where we are right now, between $24 to $2,600. But really, with the momentum that we've got going in dominance chart and total 2 chart, I probably would be looking for this to break and close somewhere in the mid 3000s once this is over with. And you think that that's crazy, so we measure it from the breakdown zone. Remember, the total 2 offering about a 36% move. If we give ourselves a 36% move on Ethereum, we do roughly come out from the breakdown zone to just below 3,000, right? So okay, so maybe Ethereum does finish up a little earlier, but it's hard to say. It really is hard to say, but we're still looking for further upside on this one, at least to 3,000. I think wicks higher. I like to be a conservative trader, you know that. It's all about risk to reward for me. So Ethereum's great, total 2's great, and it looks to me like most altcoins are great. Interestingly enough, though, and I'm sure you've recognized it yourself, for the most part, it would appear that the larger caps are the ones that are getting the move. So we've got, obviously, Bitcoin's up 1.5%, Ethereum's less than 1%. Atom, XRP, Algo, oh my god, you've got to be joking, right? Seriously? Not EOS? No way. Who would have thought that a breakout would actually occur after a breakout with a trend signal? We've still got plenty of room to run on this one as far as I'm concerned, because it's a delayed chart, only just forming its golden cross yesterday on simple moving averages. Anyway, that's enough of that. Matic. But then we move over to some of the smaller caps that I've been looking to get big moves on, and I still am. Something like VRA, which again in its own right is a great looking chart, not really catching a breather. I suppose it's not really that small cap anymore. And then obviously the ultimate wild card from as far as I'm concerned being XDC, which I still think is a great setup. I think it's an amazing setup, just not very popular given to us by the volume. If this catches a bit of volume, I can tell you now, it will shoot up and it will be awesome. So what does this mean? What's going on then? I'll tell you something, it's usually the last stages of a crypto pump when you see altcoins rallying up so high. It's not something that we've not seen before. We see it all the time. So let's have a think about what this looks like. So this is back in the last bull market. So that's the bubble pop. This is the total 2. Bubble pop 2018, right? Boosh! We are going to the moon. You reach the moon, and then that's it. Okay, fair enough. What happened after that? Okay, bull market, humble beginnings, slow and steady uptrend, bubble pop over here, same with Bitcoin. Okay, pop. What happened over here? A nice alt season leading into the March crash, and then obviously the rest is history. So look, this is good times. Hence, I'm going out today to probably buy a Citroen. Because I'm a family man, okay? No Teslas for me. But not to say I don't want one, but I'm not having crumbs in the back of a Tesla. No way. Citroen will do for now. Give it another 5 years or so. And maybe I'll buy something that I can maintain the interior of. But for now, yeah, I mean, it does look like we are reaching some form of peak in the overall market, which I would really I would feel very strongly that it's going to be around here, which means profit taking on the way up to this level, and when we get to this level, skepticism. But it's not all about the total 2. It does. There is a lot to be said for what Bitcoin's doing at this time. This is what I keep reiterating for the last few weeks now. So Bitcoin's money flow index is very high. You've heard it all before. I'm boring you to death. Nah. Anyway, we're going to close another week by the looks of things with another positive tick up here on the money flow index here, getting very close to that real sort of scary area where basically you've reached 95. Anything with a 95 on a weekly needs to be feared. It really does need to be feared. Then that is the truth of it, right? That's the truth of the matter. Never buy anything ever with a read of 95 or above on a weekly. You're just asking for trouble. So we are getting to very close to trouble, I would say, at this point. And so I do also strongly believe, very, very clearly, that we are going to find a consolidation that takes a prolonged period of time to come out of, which means that profit taking all of these greens is the best thing to do. Incrementally, we've got areas on each individual chart of interest. I was trying to explain it, as I always do, on the Patreon, about how Atom has many of these areas, and it's just an example. So we've got one area here, the peak over here, around 12 to 13. You've got another profit-taking area around probably the beginning of this formation, around 15. Then above that, you've got 17. The absolute top target will be 20. That means you need to look at each one of these as an area to take profit from. Don't think, well, I'll just wait for the top target to be hit. That way I'll make the most money. Not necessarily, because we might not reach those. Every single resistance, including this basically death cross retest on this weekly that we're at right now, is a resistance. That's a resistance we might not see anymore. That's a resistance we may not see anymore. That's a resistance we might not see anymore. And again, if we get to there, then great. But that's the deal. We don't know where the top is on a market which is trending up, which is on borrowed time given by Bitcoin's overbought scenario. So I'm not here to ruin the party. But one thing I was showing yesterday on the stream was you and everybody, including me, will all get complacent because we're used to seeing massive greens. So let's have a look at ADA, right? So we're looking at ADA now. And it's massive. That's a big candle body. We're like, all right, excellent. Look at that. Look at that. ADA is up this week, just this week, to the tune of 65% in a week, right? So that's great. But do you know what it can also do? It can go down 65% in a week. It absolutely can. Look at this chart. It does do that. Look at this. Look at this one over here. Cha! In 1 week, within a week. I know it says 21 days, but it's basically a week. It is a week. 58% in a week. And then it continued to go up. This is only the beginning of 2021. We ran up to have a new all-time high, but we still popped 50-odd%. Blah! Complacency is what gets people wrecked. So at the moment, we're getting complacent, I think, or a lot of people will be, and that's fine. That's what the market wants you to do. They want to trick you into higher prices. They want to make you believe that this is the nature of the market and that it's a undefeatable market, that it's going to keep going up and up and up and up, and it'll only go up because that's what crypto does. We're all early. There'll be people on Twitter, you're early. They'll point to some chart which has got 1 million miles left to run on it and say, you are here. And you'll think to yourself, you know what, I did have a sell order, basically where I am right now. But, you know what, how good would it be if I was to leave it to this area? And then that would be it. So I'm not saying go all out or all in. That's never the right way to trade anyway. Trade like a trading bot, really. Incremental buys in, incremental sells out. Never be all out, never be all in. But right now, we are getting spoiled, really, with all of these green candles. And look, you and me, obviously, I would imagine most of my subscribers watch. I've got the people who watch this channel are like 75% subscribed. So they, you obviously watch it every day. You hear what I say every day, and it's more or less the same message. We were calling for an alt season about 3 months ago, and so for us, we've enjoyed an enormous amount of altcoin rally. This to now at this point it's starting to feel a little euphoric, a little bit mania, which is great because it can keep going until it pops, and it will pop. So a real trade or a real trader does take profit. This isn't the parabolic new all-time high alt season we're seeing right now. For the most part, this is just an alt season. one of many that we see all the time, and taking it back to the total 2. So there was your all-time high back in 2018, and then this was a great alt season. This was a good alt season, and there was many other alt seasons in between that, and then we did finally find a new all-time high. So if that is the equivalent of this one over here, we are currently experiencing something like this. So we shouldn't expect a new all-time high. We shouldn't expect that now. What we should expect is a pop somewhere along the lines and a consolidation, and then after that another one that continues on to a new all-time high. So this is not the time for us to say hold on for dear life, unless of course you're prepared to do that, and preferably you bought your entry points, for these altcoins a lot earlier on. That's what I'm saying. It's not the time for a new all-time high. It's getting closer and closer to a pop and then a consolidation. You don't want to get stuck in that. So complacency will kill. That's what I'm saying. So, but for the moment, things are looking pretty sweet, and I would expect further upside generally across the board. As we're already seeing this right now, there'll be stumbling blocks, along the way, but we're not looking for anything dramatic and horrendous. Not like this, for instance, not straight away. But we are looking for a bit of chop, probably, as we trend up. But look, I mean, the charts are speaking for themselves. They are quite happy and hungry, and I would base the majority of what this alt rally on the total 2 and Ethereum, which basically offer further upside. So, as much as we are approaching the tops, well, I don't think we're at the tops yet, but we will. And so the closer we get to those tops, the more tether or the more pounds or the more dollars you should have at that point in that form. Because the consolidation is going to be real, and it's going to take us down to lower prices. Some of these altcoins come right back to square one. Some of them even go down lower than where they started from. And then we just buy them back again. It's a rinse and repeat, carbon copy of a previous market cycle. I don't see anything different in it, and we should enjoy it for what it's worth. So don't get complacent, don't get too greedy. Enjoy the gains, take the profit incrementally on the way up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You should never complain about making money, right? Let's face it, we're making money. We have been making money consistently this year, and especially over the last 3 months, we've been making a lot of money. So keep that money. Don't ruin the party for yourself, especially as we're moving closer and closer to Christmas, where, well, let's face it, money turns into freaking dust instantly. Right, let's leave it there. Long story short, in summary, further upside, probably less than halfway through this alt season 2.0 right now. Focus on this resistance and focus on Dominance chart and focus on Ethereum and enjoy the gains as they come and take the profit as and when. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.